Aloha, I'm Janin. Today I want to ask you a question. Do you have problems when you buy clothes when the sleeve length is too long and the shirt length is too long? And even if you buy a jacket or things like that, the jacket is too long. Now, today I want to talk to you about some of the options that you have. Now, for me, every time I buy clothes, namely, especially shirts or blouses that have long sleeve. Now the problem I have is, well, I don't know if you would call it a problem, but I'm 5'1" and 3/4 of an inch tall. Now, because I am that height, I have a problem with my sleeves always being too long and the length of my shirt going way past a really nice looking length. Now, what this tends to do is just make you look sloppy. And I don't like that sloppy look. I think when you get dressed, you should look neat and put together. So the problem I have is that the sleeve comes all the way down to here. Now I want to give you a couple of options of what you can do. Now normally, because I've been sewing for so long, I've been sewing since I was a little kid, and I teach sewing, I know how to shorten my sleeves. I can take off this cuff here and cut off some of the sleeve and reattach it. Now for me, I'm gonna have to cut off about 4 inches in length, because the proper length that a long sleeve shirt should be is right here at your wrist bone. So when you have your arms to your side, the end of your shirt, the sleeve, should actually be right in line with your wrist bone when you have your hands down. That is one of the things that really makes a shirt look like it fits you perfectly, and that's what we want. We want our clothes to fit us perfectly. So I am gonna have to cut it off, but I also have another option, because this shirt came with a button and a loop. So let me just roll up my sleeve. It's got a loop sewn on the inside. So what I can do is I can roll up this sleeve if I want. If I don't want to shorten my sleeve, cut it apart and all of that, I can just go ahead and roll it up and button this loop here, and that will give me a 3/4 length sleeve, which is also a nice length too. So that's another option I have if I don't want to do all that cutting and sewing. And if you don't know how to cut your sleeves or alter your clothes, I would suggest you find an alterations person who knows what they're doing. You know, it's always best to actually have your clothes fit you nicely. So the other thing I want to talk about is my shirt length. Now, because I'm the height that I am, I have a really short torso. So that means from my waist up is shorter in proportion to my waist to my feet. So what happens is when I buy shirts and jackets, they always come all the way down here to my thighs. Now, again, I have to cut it. Now, the proper length that you would want your shirt or your blouse that looks attractive is anywhere between the fullness of your butt and your waistline. So if you have your shirt anywhere from here to there where it ends is really flattering. So again, I'm gonna have to cut off about 6 inches. That's just what I have to deal with. And so sometimes, you know, you have to deal with things that you don't like, because the clothing industry, they cannot make clothes for everybody. They have to just choose a specific standard size, what they consider standard. And it's usually somebody that's really tall, way taller than me, and somebody who's really slender. So that's why everything you buy is usually not proportionate to you, because you know, it would be nice if they could make a size specifically for us, but that's just not how it works. And the designers have to just create one particular length of sleeve and shirt. Now, of course, if I didn't want to cut off my shirt and shorten it, what I could do is tuck it in too. I could tuck it in too. I have a skirt on, but if I had pants on too, I could tuck it in as well. So I have that option. Now, because this is a stretchy fabric, it's not woven. So there are methods that you can do to hem your clothes without any sewing, but that's only on woven fabric. On knitted fabrics, there's certain things that you can and cannot do. So I'll probably make another video about how you can hem woven fabrics without sewing it. Because not all of us want to hire an alterations person, or some of us don't have money. So I'll give you some options. But that is kind of what I want to talk to you about, is to take all these things into consideration when you're wearing your clothes. Now, of course, when you're at the store and you're buying clothes, it always is best to try it on. Sometimes people don't like shopping, and I understand. But if you have the opportunity to try it on so you can see the sleeve length, because that is something that you're going to have to think about. If you don't mind the sleeve being long, then, just roll it up. But sometimes you buy an outfit and it doesn't have the loop and the button. So, you would just roll it up anyway and have that option. But these are the things that I deal with because of my height. So if you're kind of in the range of my height, the fashion industry considers my height to be petite. Well, I'm not so sure about that, but I don't like to categorize people. I'm just the height that I am, and so I do have to deal with things, and there are easy solutions. So think about what you're wearing and the proper length of your shirt and your sleeve length. Now, even jackets I've had to make shorter too, because even jackets, sometimes we can get away with a jacket being way too long, but for somebody that's my height, it's not always the best looking, even though it's really, really long, because I'm not 5'9" or 6 feet tall. So think about those things, and if you have any questions, let me know. I would be happy to answer them. Please subscribe to this channel. And I'm so grateful that I can be here and share with you all of these things that can help you look better in your clothes. We always want to look good in our clothes. We don't want to look sloppy. We don't want to look like we just got out of bed, or we don't really care how our clothes fit. When you have clothes that fit you well, you feel good in them, and then you tend to have a better attitude during the day. So I thank you again. Aloha.